The first one, the snare that fear causes is to cause us to focus on negative things rather than positive things. Would you turn back in your Bible to the book of Numbers, chapter 13? Now, you probably noticed that in my messages, I often refer to this chapter. It's because the things that happened there were key, pivotal things that provide principles for all of us, but this chapter also changed the course of Israel's history. Numbers chapter 13, look at verse 27. What has happened here is that they have come out of Egypt, they have crossed the Red Sea, they are at Kadesh Barnea, and it is time to enter the Promised Land. And so they send out 12 spies to check out the land. They are not going there to find out whether they should go or not. That is the reason God brought them out of Egypt. By the way, the reason God saved you from your sin was not to get you, not to just take you out of Egypt and drop you. He means for you to grow. He means for you to experience the victory of the Promised Land. He wants you to grow in Him. He wants you to take all the land that He has for you. So here they are. The spies have gone out, and now they bring back their report after checking out the land. Verse 27, they told him and said, we came into the land whither thou sentest us, and surely it floweth with milk and honey, and this is the fruit of it. And this fruit they're carrying is really incredible. It's described back there in verse 23. And they came into the brook of Eshcol and cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they bare it between two upon a staff, and they brought of the pomegranates and the figs. Can you imagine, folks? One cluster of grapes so large that it took two men with a staff between them to carry one cluster of grapes. I was at one of our men's house the other day and was looking at his grapes, and he had a couple of pretty good-sized clusters. They were about like that. But any child here could have carried that one little cluster. But here was a cluster of grapes. I was in an antique store this week with one of my grandchildren, and we saw this little decorative item. It was about this big, and it looked like grapes, and the grapes were about that big, so it was about like that. And he said, Papa, do you think that was the size those grapes were that those fellows brought back from the Promised Land? And I said, yes, sir, it probably was. But as I thought about it, they were probably much larger than that. One cluster of grapes, so large, so heavy. These grapes may have been the size of oranges or apples.